Ever think about how something created centuries ago can still, like, pack a punch today? Like, take Shelley's Ozymandias.
Yeah.
A poem, right?
Yeah.
Over 200 years old.
Yeah.
And it still gets people going.
That's right.
Even, like, inspired the name of that media company a while back. Speaks to the whole power of words thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How they can really stick around.
Yeah.
So in this deep dive, we're going deep on Ozymandias, but not just the poem itself.
Right.
The whole story behind it, too, which is, well...
It's pretty wild. It all starts with this busted-up statue half buried in Egyptian desert, the younger Memnon.
Yeah, this huge chunk of a statue just captured everyone's imagination back then. Picture it, right?
Yeah.
1817, the world's obsessed with ancient Egypt. Hieroglyphics, pyramids, the whole 9 yards. It was like discovering this lost civilization.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And this statue, this piece of that world, totally fired everyone up.
And the British Museum had just gotten its hands on the younger Memnon. I mean, you can imagine the frenzy.
Oh, I bet.
Everyone was captivated. And it wasn't just, the history buffs. This spilled over into art, literature.
And that's where our man Percy Shelley comes in.
Exactly.
Now, Shelley was kind of a rock star poet, very much a product of the Romanticism movement, all about emotion, individuality,
Yeah.
And get this, he wrote Ozymandias on a dare.
Well, sort of. A friendly competition with another poet, Horace Smith.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they were both inspired by this, fragmented statue of Ramses II and that inscription on it boasting about his power.
Oh, wow.
Imagine two poets drawing inspiration from this physical object and the ancient texts that described it, like this echo chamber of history, past speaking to the present.
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So they're tasked with capturing this long-gone ruler and what his ruined statue has to say. What a challenge.
Talk about a writing prompt.
So they took this challenge head on, right? Turning this wrecked statue into words that would last.
Yeah, they did.
Ready to hear what Shelley came up with?
Lay it on us. Hit us with it.
All right, here's Ozymandias. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert.
Oh, I always get chills when it starts like that.
Right.
Setting the scene so perfectly.
Okay, let me keep going. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command.
See, even just hearing it, you get that vivid picture, the desolation.
It's like you can practically feel the sand, right?
Totally. And that whole vibe of like faded glory, it just seeps into everything. But it's not just the imagery, right?
Oh, right. There's more going on.
Shelley uses the structure of the poem itself. It adds another layer to that feeling of something being died off, like the statue itself.
Oh, how so?
Well, it's a sonnet, very specific form, but he plays with the rhyme scheme, creates this subtle feeling like things aren't quite whole.
Wow. So the form mirrors the content, even on this technical level. That's wild. But going back to the picture Shelley's painting, those vast and trunkless legs, that shattered visage, it's haunting,
It really is. And then there's that inscription, right?
On the pedestal, don't leave me hanging.
Right. Look on my works, ye mighty, in despair. This boast, this command. But he's long gone, surrounded by nothing. Total irony.
Oof. Talk about a reality check, huh? Makes you think about how temporary power really is. I mean, this guy, Ozymandias, King of Kings, he really thought he was something else.
He really did.
And now, just a broken statue.
Yeah.
And that message, it's almost sad now, isn't it? Seeing how time just marches on.
It really is. It's about hubris.
Tell me more about that.
The ancient Greeks, that's their word for this. Excessive pride, arrogance, especially towards like the gods. And Ozymandias, he's got it in spades. He thought he could beat fate, that his power would just
last. And the poem shows us very directly that it doesn't.
Exactly. Even the biggest empires, they don't last forever.
It really makes you think. It's kind of a humbling thought. And it's still relevant even today.
Yeah.
All those leaders throughout history convinced they were untouchable.
Right. Yeah.
Gone. Their power's gone. All that's left are, whispers and rubble, just like Ozymandias.
It's like Shelley, created this warning, right?
Yep.
A cautionary tale, but make it poetry.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even though Ozymandias takes place in this, ancient world, it still, speaks to us.
That's what blows my mind about it. It's old, but it's not dated. We're still grappling with those same ideas. Power, legacy, what we leave behind.
100%. And it's not just like a classroom thing either.
Right.
This pops up everywhere. Think about Breaking Bad. That episode, Ozymandias, intense.
So good.
And hey, that media company. Exactly.
Wild.
It's woven into everything. Even if people haven't read the poem, they still get the message that fame, power, it fades.
Yeah. It's like this poem, it's like outlasted the empire it talks about.
Right.
It's this symbol, I don't know, of how limited ambition can be. Even the best, the strongest rulers, they're just gone.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And that's the big question, isn't it? What will our legacy be? Not like statues and bragging rights, but how we actually impact things, what matters, what lasts.
Man, that's deep. Gets you thinking, right?
Yeah.
And hey, if this whole thing has you curious, which I hope it does, go read the full poem. Let it sink in. See what you think. Maybe you'll have a totally different take on Ozymandias. That's the cool thing about art, right? It hits us all in different ways. So until next time, keep those brains buzzing, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.